Thank you, Faye, and a very good afternoon to you, wherever and however you're listening to TalkSport 2, your home of the EFL. Well, this place was Rob Edwards' home very briefly, 3 seasons ago, but as with so many Watford managers, his tenure here was short-lived. 11 games and just 3 wins at the start of the 22-23 campaign was not good enough for the Pozzo family. He had the last laugh, though, moving up the M1 to Luton and earning promotion to the Premier League. Now, Edwards is trying to repeat that feat with his visiting Middlesborough side today at the Vic. Second in the table and just 1 defeat all season makes for the sort of start that the owners here would most definitely take. Javi Gracia knows the drill all too well here at Watford, back for a second spell in charge after Paolo Pezzolano lasted 1 game less than Edwards did this season. They did beat West Brom here in Gracia's first home game of this second spell, and the Hornets' home form is pretty good, 4 wins from 6 in front of their own. They did lose 3-1 at leaders Coventry last weekend live on TalkSport 2, and James Abankwa's red card at the CBS has forced Gracia into at least 1 change today. He's made 3 in all. Pollock has come in for the suspended Abankwa. Cipriano and Kurangord also recalled at the expense of Sissoko and Kayembe. As for the Teessiders, they snatched a point late on at home to Wrexham a week ago to leave them 3 points behind the leaders Coventry at the start of play. They also make 3 changes. Out go Whittaker, Nipan and Sen. In come Ayling, Brown and Conway. So for Watford, looks like a 4-4-2. Egil Selvik in goal, Jeremy Ngakia, Kevin, Matty Pollock and Mark Bowler in a back 4. Kwadwo Bar, Hector Cipriano, Imran Louza and Rocco Vata across midfield. Mamadou Doumbia and Luca Kriemgo in attack. For Middlesbrough, Sol Bryn the keeper, looks like 3 at the back. Luke Ayling, Dale Fry and Alfie Jones as the 3. Callum Britton and Matt Targett as wing backs. Aidan Morris, Hayden Hackney and Alan Brown in the midfield, and Delano Bergsorg in support of Tommy Conway in attack. John Busby from Oxfordshire is our referee today. He's in his 5th full season officiating at this level. Just to let you know where myself and Perry Groves are sat bringing you this commentary, we're on the halfway line at the back of the Sir Elton John stand. You just heard his music playing out through the PA system here. The dugouts and the tunnel right directly beneath us. We've got the Rookery end to our left, packed with home fans. The Vicarage Road to our right, where the travelling Teessiders are today, and opposite us the Graham Taylor stand that completes this impressively renovated stadium. Can Javi Gracia restore this Watford team as impressively in his second spell as manager, I wonder, Perry Groves?
Well, he knows what the situation is at the club, Dan, doesn't he? You know, he knows how to deal with Watford. He knows about the carnage that goes on off the pitch. He's got to make sure that his team is settled on it. I'm just looking at Middlesbrough, Dan. Guru, you've got it right again. It is a back 5, obviously with Ayling, Jones and Fry as the centre half, Britton and Targett as the wing backs, with Morris, Hackney and Brown as the midfield 3.
I get things right sometimes. Watford in their traditional yellow and red shirt, shorts and socks. Middlesbrough in their change strip today of white and green. White shirts with green sleeves and green shorts, white socks. And Middlesbrough will be attacking the Rookery end to our left in this first half, so Watford heading for the Vicarage Road to our right, and they're in possession at the back with Kevin playing a short 1-2 with Hector Cipriano, one of Watford's summer signings, came in from Peterborough. Hector the Protector, as he became known at his time at London Road. Watford just keeping possession in their own half at the moment, and Ngakia got a couple of goals a couple of weeks ago in the same game, the former West Ham man, and he's won a throw on this left-hand side, the Watford right, I should say, off Delano Bergsorg. 0-0, and we played a minute on TalkSport 2, and I'll keep you in touch with goals going in right around the country in the Premier League. There's quite a few 3 o'clock kickoffs today in the top flight, Championship and the FA Cup. Earlier today, away wins for Blackburn and Hull in the Championship. Sheffield Wednesday got a point at West Brom. Chelmsford beating 10-man Braintree 4-1 in the FA Cup. That's National League South beating National League. And Chelsea's women keeping up their impressive run, 13 unbeaten now, seeing off London City Lionesses 2-0, and Manchester City's women beating West Ham by 1-0. Callum Britton for Middlesbrough lays it back to Ayling on the halfway line for the Borough. Just puts his foot on the ball, sees the run being made through the middle, plays it up to Bergsorg, who's offside, just slightly ahead of Kevin as the ball was fired into him. Free kick to Watford, just in front of their own 18-yard line, 0-0.
Yeah, Burzog's going to make sure he just looks across the line. There's a great little ball in from Luke Ayling. It's playing obviously the right-hand side of the three centre halves. Just a little bit lazy there from Burzog. Just got to get himself back on side. Just look, when you set your stall out, Dan, the balls come out to his right-hand side to Barr, and Matty Targett had two crunching tackles within the first, 15-20 seconds.
Yeah, he put himself about nice and early. The loanee from Newcastle United. Already Hibernian are wandering up on Livingston in Scotland this afternoon. Jamie McGrath with the opener for the Highbees, and goals going in the FA Cup, but we'll get back to those in a minute, because here comes Imran Louza, the Watford skipper, just darting through midfield, plays it to his right for Ngakia, steps inside Conway's, back inside his own half, protecting things. Worked out to Imran Louza again, just in front of our commentary position on halfway. Now he jogs in from this near touchline, the right hand side, clips it across to Pollock, further across to the far left hand side, but it's given away, and Hayden Hackney drives forward down the Middlesbrough right. Bergsorg in field, so too is Conway. It won't make its way through to Conway because of Pollock's sliding challenge, 0-0.
Well, there's a really good opportunity there for Middlesbrough on the counter attack. Hayden Hackney's normally better than that when he's in possession. Just tried to square it into Conway. He was unmarked in that inside left position. In the end, he didn't put enough on the pass. Easy got cut out by Watford, and now we're to recycle ball with Louza. Louza's the one who's got that sort of free roll dance, and he's one sort of the playmaker with the conductor with the baton, just trying to get the Watford passing moves going.
In the Championship, QPR 0, Ipswich 1. George Hurst on 2 minutes. And in the FA Cup, Oldham lead Northampton through Mickey Mellon. Cheltenham Town lead Bradford early on through Isaac Hutchinson. Exeter lead at FC Halifax Town, Danny Andrew for the Grecians, and Burton Albion 1-0 up at home to St Albans City. TalkSport 2, 4 minutes gone in the Championship here at Vicarage Road. Watford 0, Middlesbrough 0. And Callum Britton, bought from Blackburn in the summer, lays it back to the three Middlesbrough centre halves. Jones works it out to the left-hand side, and Targett was trying to reach Bergsorg, who's got away from Kevin down the left-hand side, trying to stretch his legs. Now cuts in field, Bergsorg to the left-hand corner of the area, has to lay it off to Morris. Morris plays it right across to the far side of the area. Britton across the face of goal, and Conway tries to turn it in. Brilliant challenge from Pollock, turns it behind for the first corner of the game that's gone to Middlesbrough at the Rookery end.
Really good play, best move of the game so far. Targett just picking up the left back position, just ease it down that left hand touchline to Bergsorg, who said there, Dan, got away from Kevin, did really well, couple little foot overs. In the end it made his way out to Conway on that right hand side, tried to get his cross across the 6-yard box. In the end it was good defending from Watford at near post, corner for Middlesbrough over on their right hand side.
Matt Targett has gone across to place the ball down where the Graham Taylor meets the Rookery end. Hayden Hackney's jogged out for a short corner, so he's being watched by Vatter and also by Barr, but Barr's now gone back into the area. Targett will send this in to the near post. Up go the heads, and it's headed almost over his own crossbar, just away from danger by Mamadou Doumbia back defending. So it's another corner to Middlesbrough, this time on the near side to us, where the Elton John stand meets the Rookery end, 0-0.
Yeah, it was a decent delivery from Matt Targett, in swinging with his left foot. Doumbia did his job. You see Watford got two zonal along that 6-yard box. Doumbia the first one at near post, he made sure he got the first connection. So Targett said that little jog across right away to the left hand side.
Yeah,
he'll take the corner, out swinging with his left foot.
Hackney's still there for a short corner option, but it looks like he's not going to use him. Indeed he's not. So around the penalty spot, over the heads, it flicks off the head of Alfie Jones. Britton keeps it in play on the far side of the field, but he's being hassled and harried by Kwadwo Barr. Does really well, does Barr, hits it all the way up to halfway, headed on by Vatter, but plenty of white and green Middlesbrough shirts back to defend. Rotherham leads Swindon by a goal to 0 in the FA Cup. That's League 1 against League 2. Sam Nombi. Stoke are 1-up on Bristol City in the Championship. Divine Mabama and Macclesfield in the FA Cup of the National League North are 1-0 up on AFC Tottenham National League South.
Do you want to make your name stat of the day?
Always got one, haven't you?
Stoke City goalkeeper Victor Johansson has an 81.8% save percentage in the Championship this season, the best rate of any goalkeeper with 10 plus shots.
That's why he's getting caps for Sweden. Mansfield 1, Harrogate 0 in the FA Cup. Regan Hendry for the Stags. 0-0 here at Vicarage Road. Watford in possession down the left-hand side of their midfield. It's chipped into the area, looking for the run of Doumbia, brings it down superbly out the sky, but then he ran into the challenge of Alfie Jones, who got it downfield, but it was intercepted by Cipriano, and he cleverly wins a throw off Tommy Conway, so Watford keep the ball inside the Middlesbrough half. 7 gone, 0-0.
Yeah, nice little run from Doumbia, just from the middle out to that inside left position. They said Dance took it down really well with his top of his left foot, but to be fair to Jones, he tracked the run out, got his block in. Just looking at Middlesbrough, obviously they're going to that 5-3-2 shape, but when they're out of position, Dance, I quite like the fact that, you know, a lot of teams, when they bring everybody back behind the ball, Middlesbrough leave Herzog up front, and then Conway just drops him a little bit behind him. So then, if Middlesbrough get possession, then they've got a target, you know, they can play off someone up front, whereas a lot of teams just bring everybody back behind the ball, they clear the ball, and then it comes straight back at them again.
Long ball downfield from Pollock, doesn't find a red and yellow Watford shirt. It's retrieved by Dale Fry, the Middlesbrough captain, without too much trial and tribulation. Ayling, terrific signing from Leeds United, really all purpose for Middlesbrough, playing on the right of 3 centre-halves today. Hits a diagonal ball seeking that Matt Target, but it's intercepted by Ngakia. Plays it up to Loser just shy of the halfway line. He turns, he's under pressure from Aidan Morris. He's helped up by Cipriano. Referee waste play on, even though Cipriano was caught, because Watford are trying to get Barr away down this right-hand side. Fry turns and hooks it clear, but only as far as halfway, where Cipriano cushioned it down for Ngakia. Tried to work it up to Barr at the edge of the area, but again, Middlesbrough get possession back. Hackney tries to flick it onto halfway for Conway. Only half cleared by Watford. Now Callum Britton can stretch his legs and get away down the right-hand side for the visitors. Holds his run up for the moment, feeds it into Conway. Britton gets it back. Now he plays it across left, where it's picked up by Aidan Morris. Target in support, level with the 18-yarder. Lovely first-time ball down the left-hand side of the area. Gets it back from Britton and tried to lay it across to Bergsorg, but it was comfortably intercepted by Barr. And this clearance bounces off Alfie Jones, and Watford get possession, and Loser tried to play a ball with the outside of his foot for Bowler, but got it wrong, and Ayling now striding forward for Middlesbrough as they counter. Conway down the right hand side of the area. Good challenge. Matty Pollock stood his ground, stuck his foot in, and won it back for the host. 0-0.
Yeah, he said there, Dance, Pollock just had to know. How fluid are Middlesbrough in possession, because Britton started with the ball out in obviously the right wing back position, put his ball across here to Matt Target, then he ended up in the inside left position where he's tried to do a little Cruyff flick and get Matt Target back in. So it's not rigid at all from Middlesbrough. I think they just, at the minute, Dance, they just look a bit more fluid in their passing, you know. They just got better sort of passing patterns, whereas Watford are giving the ball away very cheaply.
0-0 here. A couple of goals for you in the FA Cup. Cambridge United lead Chester FC by goals to 0. Killian Kouassi for Cambridge, and Boreham Wood on this extraordinary unbeaten run in the National League. 1-0 up on League 2 Crawley Town. Matt Rush for Boreham Wood. And we've got FA Cup action straight after this. Coventry will be off to not too far from Silverstone. Brackley Town against Notts County is our FA Cup first round commentary at 5:30. Mike McCarthy and Charlie Austin, your commentary team, with the FA Cup first round in full swing this afternoon. No goals in the Premier League that I can bring you as yet from the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Games at Brighton, Burnley, Palace, Fulham and Forest. In fact, as I say that, Fulham take the lead against Wolves. Ryan Sessegnon makes it Fulham 1, Wolves 0. 4 straight Premier League defeats for Fulham, but they just edged past Wickham in the week. Good skill by Rocco Vata, just darting past a couple of players as he runs along the halfway line left to right. Feeds it out to Barr, who plays it infield to Cipriano, who knows he's got Conway at his back, and that actually allowed Morris to slide in and win the ball. He was too preoccupied with the player behind him, Cipriano. Now Hackney is obstructed by Kevin, but the referee actually sees it the other way. John Busby sees that as a foul by Hackney on Kevin and gives Watford the free kick. 0-0.
Is the referee John Busby watching a different game to me? Because Hayden Hackney's had the ball there, he's pushed it one side of Kevin and gone to run the other. Kevin has just got across him. Hayden Hackney had no choice but to sort of try and grab him and get him out of the way, and John Busby's given a free kick to Watford.
It was odd. It was odd. Middlesbrough's 9th successive championship campaign, 2 failed playoff attempts. In 2018 when they lost the semi-final to Aston Villa, and a couple of years ago when they lost to Coventry. Watford, meantime, it's their 4th season back at Championship level, 11th, 15th and 14th in their previous 3 campaigns. Here come Middlesbrough. Matt Targett on halfway. Tucks it infield to the American Aidan Morris. Short pass into the feet of Conway. Just turns away from Loser for a minute, but Loser had a chunk of his shirt. Quickly taken free kick across the line from left to right. Picks that Hackney, approaching the edge of the area. He's going to go for goal, and it's punched away by Selvik. It was right at him, and he just got both fists to it and punched it way, way clear. 0-0.
Really good play from Conway. Bought the free kick and didn't wait, took it very quickly, got it out to Hackney in that inside right position. Watford backed off. Hackney decided he's going to get the shot off. Actually, hit straight down the barrel of Selvik. I think he could have caught it, Dan, to be honest. It was right at him, wasn't it? Round about chest height, and he's done what the modern day goalkeeper tends to do now, is just get like a two-fisted punch to it and punched it away. First shot on target for Middlesbrough.
0-0, 12 minutes gone on TalkSport 2, your home of the EFL. In the Championship, Millwall leader Oxford, Tieno Ballo, who impressed Perry and me last week in the game against Leicester. He's put them ahead. Here come Middlesbrough with Tommy Conway at the edge of the area. Shifts the ball onto his right, tries to play at 1-2 with Hackney. But Watford have players back, and Vata looks to find Kyungar on halfway, but it's intercepted. Elsewhere in the Championship, Birmingham 1, Portsmouth 0. Pek Sung-ho, rare goal for the Korean at St Andrews. Long ball through the middle, almost picks that Bergsorg, and Ngakia diverts it behind for Watford for a Middlesbrough corner. Just a simple ball curled in from the right hand side, caused all sorts of problems for the Watford back line. And if they played that ball in another 10 times, Bergsorg would have been in on goal. 0-0.
It was a good run from Bergsorg this time, just making sure that keeps himself onside. Just helped him from Hayden Hackney, who's just trying to, get himself more involved in the game, be more influential. I said, Dance, it's just Middlesbrough just look more assured, don't they, in possession? They've just got better patterns. They've got better relationships with their teammates. The ball's gone out for a corner for Middlesbrough over on their right hand side,
where the Graham Taylor stand meets the Rookery end on the far side of the field from us. Target swings you right into the near post. One-fisted punch clear from Selvik, the keeper, and it drops for Morris, who just elects to hook it all the way back to his keeper, Sol Bryn, the Middlesbrough keeper, in the midway point of his own half.
That was like a Fabio Wardley left hook, wasn't there, from Selvik, the goalkeeper?
It was. Got live boxing for you tonight on the TalkSport network from the Co-op Live in Manchester. Joshua Batty against Zach Parker for the British light heavyweight title. And in this contest, it's Middlesbrough who are landing more blows, you would say, in these opening 14 minutes. You can hear the concern amongst the Watford support, but now the Hornets come out on a counter-attack, and Quadro Bar's got loads of green grass to gallop into. Only Curran got up with him at the moment. Bar gets into the area, pulls it across the face of goal, and brilliantly tucked away by Imran Loser. And Watford lead on the quarter hour when they've been under pressure, but suddenly they break. Quadro Bar's pull back to around about 15 yards was right on the left peg of Imran Loser, and he did not disappoint with his finish. And Watford lead at Vicarage Road. Watford 1, Middlesbrough 0.
Dance, every loser wins. Brilliant play from Watford down their right hand side on the counter attack. Barr picks the ball up, then Middlesbrough back off, he gets himself in the 18-yard box. Then you're thinking, can you pick the right pass out? He sees Loser is coming in that left-hand channel. He just puts the ball along the floor. Loser lets it go across his body from just around about the penalty spot with his left foot. He side foots it past Bryn, gives him absolutely no chance of Middlesbrough goal. Brilliantly crafted goal from Watford. That was their best move of the game so far, and they've been clinical, dads. Brilliant finish from Loser.
That's his 5th goal of the season, Imran Loser, the Watford captain. And so Middlesbrough, having had the lion's share of it in this opening quarter hour, find themselves behind as they bid to try and get level with Coventry City at the top of the Championship. Goals elsewhere in the Premier League. Brighton lead Leeds by a goal to 0. Danny Welbeck again for Brighton. England call it maybe. And Arsenal lead at Burnley. Victor Gyökeres putting Arsenal ahead at Turf.
Is he all that overrated, Gyökeres?
Oh, honestly, don't listen to anybody who comes out with that sort of nonsense. Newport 0, Gillingham 1 in the FA Cup as well, by the way. And Fleetwood have also taken the lead in the FA Cup at home to Barnet. So 1-0 here to the Hornets. And Imran Loser, the captain, really cool finish. just had to take it on the run. First time, very, very clinical finish.
Dan, do you know what? It was a brilliant cross from Barr, because he's just obviously put it right along. It's a greasy surface because it's raining, so the ball just skipped along. And because of the pace of the cross, that made up Loser's mind, where he thinks, right, I'm going to let it roll across my body, I'll side foot it. So the pace of the cross, then he got good pace on his shot and give Bryn absolutely no chance. That was, to be honest, Dan, after like 60 minutes, that was probably the first bit of quality that we've seen from Watford in possession, and they've finished the move off brilliantly.
Now, as you heard from Perry earlier during our build-up, Watford have not kept a clean sheet all season. The only championship side yet to do. They do that today, and it's back-to-back home wins. But here come Middlesbrough trying to counter. It's Matt Targett, left-hand corner of the area, finds Aidan Morris, pushes infield. Barr tries to start in for a challenge, but can't make it. So it's tucked out to Callum Britton on the right-hand side for Middlesbrough. Now back potentially for Ayling to put the ball into the box. Good cross. Targett has stayed up for the header, but couldn't get purchase on the header. It was well defended by Jeremy Ngakia. 1-0 to Watford.
Again, it just shows you up when they're in possession. Rob Edwards wants his full-backs to push on. Then there's Matt Targett basically playing as the second striker there. Just a little loop crossing from Luke Ayling. See, Targett couldn't quite get his head on it. Now Luke Ayling will run from the right-sided centre-half position over to this left wing, because have a guess what, Dan? Another team has somebody with a long throw.
Well, wouldn't you know?
Who'd have thought it?
Wouldn't you know it? It is Luke Ayling, who's just leaning against the advertising hoardings. Not much room for him to get a run-up on this near side for Middlesbrough. He's thrown it short in the end. It's Morris who will tease the ball into the box. Up go the heads, headed away by Kieran Gar. Hooked back into the area by Hackney, or at least attempted to hook it back into the area, but it bounces outside the 18-yard line, and Barr clears under pressure from Britton, who caught him late, and that's been given as a free kick to Watford, who lead by a goal to nil with 19 minutes gone. Blackpool leading the FA Cup against Scunthorpe. Ashley Fletcher puts the Seasiders ahead. Good FA Cup tie-up at Macclesfield. 2-2 between Macclesfield and AFC Tottenham. That's National League North against National League South.
You know, we said who'd have thought it, long throw, and obviously Luke Ayling threw a dummy at us because he took it short and gave it to Targett. If he was the two Middlesbrough centre-half, Jones and Fry, who'd run all the way up while we're in the back to get themselves in the 18-yard box, you'd be saying to him, right, if we're coming up, make sure you throw it in. I don't mind you mixing it up after you've had 2 or 3 long throws. Don't do the first one, get the first long throw in so we can test them.
But then maybe Ayling hadn't realised just how short a run-up he has on this near side in the Elton John stand. It's not the open spaces you'd have at, say, London Stadium, where you're off to tomorrow as part of a Talk Sports Game Day Live for Sunday afternoon with Premier League and FA Cup action. Here come Watford forward again, and Bowler down the left-hand side of the area was caught as he let the shot go, but he'd long since let the shot go before the keeper caught him. Bowler stayed down. John Busby's not interested in giving a penalty, but suddenly Mark Bowler was another simple ball downfield. Perry Groves saw Watford in behind Middlesbrough.
Yeah, it was a really good run from Bowler, obviously playing in the left back position, just ran from deep in that inside left channel, so he just helped in behind Britton. Then Bryn comes out. You know, if Luke Bowler's a little bit clever there, Dan, if he just decides he's going to like nick it, he gets a penalty. But because he's got such a boot on it basically, and it's gone high up into the stand, referee John Busby hasn't got a decision to make. He can be a little bit cuter there.
In the FA Cup, AFC Wimbledon 0, Gateshead 1. The National League side ahead at League 1, AFC Wimbledon, and Wealdstone leads Southend in the Cup by a 1-0. And a throw in to Middlesbrough. We've played 21 minutes on TalkSport 2. Watford leading Middlesbrough by a 1-0, courtesy of their captain Imran Louza. Middlesbrough in possession just over the halfway line, down beneath us with Matt Targett, but good tigerish work from Jeremy Ngakia. That's the applause you can hear around us as Ngakia stepped in and won the ball back for the Hornets. Louza, the goal scorer, right at the edge of his own penalty area, helping out his centre halves, and now Ngakia just drives a long ball downfield. Doumbia tried to keep hold of it, just snaked away from him and out of play. QPR equalise in the Championship at home to Ipswich Town. Roman Burrell with the equaliser at Loftus Road. Here comes Luke Ayling for Middlesbrough. Slides it out to Britton, who's moved inside the Watford half of the field. Again, an early ball into the edge of the area. Volleyed clear by Pollock. Might drop in the centre circle for Kierungo, but no, he's lost out. Now it's played out again to Callum Britton, but bowler straight onto him and allowed no chance for Britton to get past. But it's ricocheted in field to Aidan Morris, and he tried to slide it through there to try and find, it was actually Alan Brown, forgive me, trying to slide it through for Conway, but just overhit it straight through to Selvig, the Watford keeper. Watford 1, Middlesbrough 0
yes,
on TalkSport 2.
A lot Middlesbrough dance, obviously they've been good in the middle third, but when they've been getting out to, especially that right hand side, the quality hasn't quite been in with the final pass or the final cross, and that was highlighted there by Brown, where he can run, just roll Conway in, and he's just hit it too hard, ends up going through to Selvig, the Watford goalkeeper.
2 for Divine Mabama, 2 for Stoke City. They lead Bristol City by 2-0 at the Bet365 in the Championship.
Not talking about their goalkeeper, Stoke.
You did?
Alright, just wondered.
He did come up. Britton for Middlesbrough, right hand side, midway point of the Watford half of the field, with Middlesbrough attacking the rookery end away to our left in this first half. Morris finds Hackney, plays a 1-2 with Bergsall, gets it back and drives it across the face of goal, and Conway's looking as if to say, why did you go for goal? You could have pulled it back a yard or two further, and I'd have had a tap in. 1-0 Watford.
Yeah, to be fair though, Hayden Hackney, because of the form that he's in, as you said, played a great little 1-2 on the edge of the 18-yard box, gets the ball back, and if he's going to go for the shot dance, he's got to hit the target. He's got to make sure that Selvig makes a save, because then if he does, then Conway's in the 6-yard box and he just taps it in. Again, anything good that's coming from Middlesbrough at the moment is down that inside right channel from Hayden Hackney, where he's looking very lively, but they just can't find that final pass. National League
York City lead at Barnsley in the FA Cup. Josh Stones with the opener for York. Matt Targett for Middlesbrough. A goal down here to Watford with 24 minutes gone on your home of the EFL, TalkSport 2. We've got Liverpool, Aston Villa as an exclusive Premier League commentary tonight at 8 p.m. Natalie Sawyer will be your host, and Adam Bridge and Charlie Adam, the two Adams, will be together at Anfield up on that gantry. Here is Alan Brown for Middlesbrough, driving up to the edge of the area, trying to wriggle through challenges. He was caught by a combination of Cipriano and Pollock right at the edge of the D. What a position this is for Middlesbrough with a set piece. They're a goal down, 24 minutes gone here at Vicarage Road.
Yeah, it's good play from Brown, just picking the ball up, just trying to drive in between Pollock and Cipriano. In the end, as the ball just ran away, the referee, John Busby, decided obviously there was a sandwich there where he couldn't get through. So he said it's a dangerous position for Middlesbrough in their inside left position.
Sheffield United 0, Derby County 1. Carlton Morris with his 6th of the season, putting the Rams ahead at Bramall Lane. So this free kick is good 25 to 30 yards out from goal. It's to the left of centre. Hackney and Targett are standing over it. If Targett's taking it, he might be going for goal, I'm not sure. It's close enough to have a striker on target. Selvig has stood about 1.5 yards off his goal line. Hackney might fancy bending this into the top left-hand corner as we look, Perry.
Yeah, I think it suits the right footer. Said it's Matt Targett and Hayden Hackney.
But Targett goes for it. He looks for that corner. Great save, Selvig. Pushed it round the post for a corner kick. Well, they did go for the top left-hand corner, but it was the left foot of Targett that tried it. Good save. 1-0 to Watford.
Yeah, just take the quick short corner.
And Targett's floated it to the far post. Britton tries to drive it back across the face of goal, and Watford have bodies back and do get it clear. And Morris heads it down awkwardly on halfway, but just keeps it away from Vatter. And the ball goes out of play and Middlesbrough get a throw. But great save that was from Egan Selvig there, Perry Grove.
Yeah, he made sure that obviously he didn't gamble dance. We said there, obviously Matt Targett with his left foot, he's just bent it with the instep. Looks like he's going to go in the top right hand corner of Selvig, and he's just obviously 2 quick short steps. Just very good athleticism, managed to tip the crossbar.
Well, Kevin was trying to bring the ball forward for Watford, and just ran straight into the referee. So he has to stop play and award an uncontested drop ball. 1-0 hit to Watford. Elsewhere, Stoke have gone 3-0 up on Bristol City. Millian Manhoof with a third. Colchester lead MK Dons in the FA Cup. That's an all-League 2 affair. Micah and Bick for the U's, and Lincoln lead at Salford in the Cup by a goal to nil. That's League 1 Lincoln 1 up at League 2 Salford. Eric Ring. And Weston-super-Mare 0, Aldershot 1. Aldershot now with John Coleman in charge these days for the shots. Now then, Watford 1-0 up, attacking down the same right-hand side from which they got their goal. Quadro Bar tries to put the cross in, and it comes out off Alfie Jones for Watford's first corner of the game at the Vicarage Road end to our right. The Hornets lead by a goal to nil.
Yeah, Bar just trying to go on the outside of Matt Target. Gets onto his right foot, gets his cross in. Jones just comes up, gets the block in. Corner for Watford on their right hand side. Lucy will just have a little walk over, gentle stroll, whip it in with his left foot.
Yeah, left-footed in, swinging to come then from Loser. Actually plays it along the dead ball line to Barr, gives it back to Loser, who's moved out towards the corner of the box. Then he lofts the ball to nobody in particular, and it's just going to drift out of play on the far side for a throw into Middlesbrough in their right back position. Macclesfield 2, AFC Totton 3 in the FA Cup. That's definitely the game of the goals. And Wigan lead Hemel Hempstead Town in the FA Cup by a goal to nil.
Just the third time in Hemel Hempstead's history they've been in the FA Cup first round.
Bergsall down the right for Middlesbrough, just won the ball, puts it across the area looking for Conway, but it was headed clear quite comfortably in the end by Ngakia, and goes out of play on the far side for a throw to Middlesbrough. Trailing here, 3 points would take them level with Coventry City at the top of the table, but Watford want back-to-back home wins. And Javi Grassi was talking in the week about having a free week with his players, working on things and the marginal gains, the fine margins, Perry. And although Middlesbrough have had a lot of the ball, when Watford have had it in dangerous areas, they've looked quite incisive.
Well, to be fair, Javi Garcia has gone Mike Bassett, isn't he? He's gone the 4-4-2. Well, I thought it might be the box shape, but it's not. It's the old-fashioned 4-4-2. Out of this, Nalu Dumbia and Kurumgur up front, but the midfield four work tirelessly to get themselves back into their shape, saying it's been difficult for Middlesbrough, to find those little gaps and the little angles that they're looking for. So far, we've come up to half-hour play. Watford defended pretty well.
But they've got a free kick to defend here. It's going to be swung in by Matt Target from the right-hand side for Middlesbrough, midway point of the Watford half, 4 or 5 yards in from the far touchline. Watford holding their line at the 18-yard line, drifted in by Target, headed back to the edge of the area. Hackney tries a volley, got behind it well enough, but it was straight down the throat of Egil Selvik, who can clear from hands downfield and looking for Rocco Vata. Headed up in the air by Morris, and a good cushion header back by Ayling to his keeper Sol Bryn. Watford 1, Middlesbrough 0.
Yeah, I think Javi Garcia, the Watford manager, maybe wants Selvik just to hold on to the ball a little bit longer, Dance, because there's under a little bit of pressure. He tried to obviously take a quick kick and release that up, and all he's done is give the ball straight back to Middlesbrough.
So in the Premier League, Brighton are in front against Leeds, Arsenal lead at Burnley, and Fulham are in front at home to Wolves. Otherwise goalless, Palace, Brentford and Nottingham Forest, Manchester United. In the Championship, Birmingham 1 up at Portsmouth, Millwall lead at Oxford, QPR and Ipswich 1-1, Derby 1 up at Sheffield United, Stoke 3-0 up on Bristol City. And here at Vicarage Road, on your home of the EFL, we've reached the half-hour mark, and it is Watford 1, Middlesbrough 0, a goal on the quarter-hour mark from the Watford skipper Imran Louza, after Middlesbrough had the lion's share of that first 15 minutes. Foul on Kirungo, who was pushed in the back by Dale Fry. No, actually, he's been classed as the aggressor. It's another one that's bamboozled me a little bit, that. Middlesbrough coming forward down the right with Callum Britton on the far side of the field from us. Plays a 1-2 with Hackney, but across comes Bowler. No-nonsense clearance. Boy, oh boy, he played that right out of play. Full pelt into the Watford supporters on that far side. 1-0 to the Hornets. As Barnsley equalised against York City in the Cup. Davis Keeler-Dunn having another terrific goal-scoring season, he is. So it's 1 apiece at Oakwell. Macclesfield 0, AFC Totton 3. Scott Rendell got the third goal for AFC Totton. And here comes Jeremy Ngakia pushing forward for Watford. Down the right-hand side, Barr ahead of him, but he's looking into the area. Kirungo, brilliant goal! Oh, lovely stuff from Watford. They attack again down the right. Ngakia swung the ball in from the right-hand side from quite deep. And Luca Kirungo across his defender and just guided it with his instep beyond Solbrin into the bottom corner, and it's all coming up roses for the Hornets. Just gone half hour at Vicarage Road, and they're 2 up on Middlesbrough.
Well, Dad, the Hornets have a sting in the tail. That's the second time they've actually come from this right-hand side. Brilliant cross from Ngakia. Kurumgor gets across his marker, just gets his right foot to it first, gives Bryn no chance. But that's that all started. It was a brilliant crossfield switch of play from Vata from the left-hand side for Watford, and Ngakia in plenty of space on this right-hand side. Again, getting themselves in and around the 18-yard box and picking the right pass. Great spot of badge from Ngakia. Really good finish from Kurumgor. Watford go-to up here at Vicarage Road against Middlesbrough.
It's his 3rd goal of the season, but he's waited a while for that 3rd goal. Luka Kurumgor scored a hatful of goals in Denmark last season for the OB club. 22 goals in 19 appearances. That's why he was brought to Vicarage Road. He's on loan from Udinese, which is his parent club, which we all know is a club very much linked with Watford. Many a player has made the trip between those 2 clubs. But Kurumgor could only do what he did there, Perry. That was the only option he had, and he executed it to perfection.
Well, that's what you want is...
Well, here they come again. Watford Bars won it on halfway, and Ngakia has gone outside of him. Oh, that's a heavy challenge from Kwadwo Bar, and he's going to get a yellow card for that challenge. Went in very, very hard on the Middlesbrough defender. He'd lost possession, and in trying to retrieve possession, went in too strongly. He's gone across to the Middlesbrough player to apologise for the challenge. He's got a yellow card out of it. I think it was Dale Fry he caught, wasn't it? Or was it Alan Brown? I can't see.
Yeah, I think it was Alan Brown, Dad. He just overran it. And to be fair, he's fairly lucky, Bar, because as he slid in, he just made sure at the last moment that obviously his studs were showing. He just pointed his foot down, you know, where he didn't have his 6 studs showing. To be fair to John Busby, the referee, he's probably got that one just about right.
11 minutes to half-time on TalkSport 2. Watford 2, Middlesbrough 0. You've probably just heard behind Perry Groves and myself, Ian Dancer, the Watford fan singing "Robbie, Robbie, what's the score?" to Rob Edwards, who for a very brief time, blinking you'd have missed it, was Watford manager 3 seasons ago. Middlesbrough got work to do here. Coventry lost last night at the top of the shop in a thrilling game at Wrexham. Middlesbrough 2-0 down here to a resurgent Watford. Ebbsfleet lead at Grimsby in the FA Cup. Charlie Seaman for Ebbsfleet. As Britton tries to get down the right-hand side of the area. Superb sliding challenge from Mark Bowler. Then he's helped out by Rocco Vata. Vata, though, is dispossessed. It's scrappy on the far side of the field, and Middlesbrough end up with a throw. Crystal Palace won Brentford 0 in the Premier League. No winning 3 for Palace, but Jean-Philippe Mateta puts them in front. Reading lead Carlisle by a goal to 0 in the FA Cup. Newport equalised against Gillingham in the same competition. Lawrence Shankland scored again for Hearts. They lead in Scotland against Dundee. What a season Heart of Midlothian are having. And Manchester United take the lead at the City Ground. Nottingham Forest 0. Manchester United 1. Casemiro. Ball up to the edge of the Watford area. Lose a heavy touch. Almost allowed Hackney to get on in and get on goal, but it was cleared away. Again, sliding challenge from Bowler as they tried to release Callum Britton down the right-hand side of the area for Middlesbrough. Watford clipping it up to halfway, but it won't make its way through properly to Kurumgor. Cambridge 2, Chester FC 0 in the FA Cup first round. Don't forget we've got Brackley Town against Notts County here live. Straight after this commentary, we'll be off to just off the A43 with Mike McCarthy, your commentator for that one between Brackley and Notts County in the FA Cup. Britton with a great swirling cross from the right, comes all the way through to Matt Targett, left-hand corner of the area at the Rookery end for Middlesbrough. Tries to put a cross in with his right, good block from Kwadwo Bar, and then Dumbia latches onto the loose ball, gets up to the halfway line. Kurumgor just to his left, who he feeds now. Bar has stayed forward, trying to stay on side as well. Kurumgor up against Ayling, down to the dead ball line, gets the cross in, headed away by Alfie Jones. It was a good ball in from the scorer of Watford's second goal, but now the game is stretched a little as Hackney tried to feed the ball through, to Bergsorg, but a great interception from Matty Pollock on halfway as Watford stopped the counter-attack gaining any pace. 2-0 to the Hornets, and the home fans enjoying themselves, Perry Groves.
Dance, I think they can see the home fans what Javi Garcia, the Watford manager, trying to implement. Sid said, good link-up play there with Dumbia and Kurumgor. I think Kurumgor, when he got himself free on that left-hand side, he could have whipped it in first time because Barr was loitering around about the penalty spot. But we had the interview with Vata, didn't we, before the game, Dance, where he just said about, Watford being better out of possession.
Yeah.
And you could just tell that they have worked on their team shape midweek, getting themselves back into that 4-4-2. The distances between the back four and the midfield are really good. And I like the fact as well with Watford that Kurumgor and Dumbia, when they're out of possession, they get their shape, but they don't drop too deep, so there's always an outball.
Middlesbrough 2-0 down, but coming forward again with Callum Britton. Another swirling cross for the right, only half cleared by Watford. Hackney finds Morris, and now Brown 30 yards out. Thought about a shot on goal for a moment, but then gives it back to Morris. Hackney just outside the box, lays it off to Luke Ayling, level with the 18-yard line. Deep swirling cross, that's going to go out on the full, is it? It is, before Target managed to head it back across the face of goal. Colchester 1, MK Dons 1 in the FA Cup. Rishan Hepburn Murphy for the Dons. This will cheer you up more though. Burnley 0, Arsenal 2, Perry. Declan Rice with a second for the Gunners.
I don't know if it's from a set piece.
Well, if it's anything like those set pieces,
you're allowed to score from set pieces though, are you?
Well, does that mean another? If it is, does that mean another mural for the set piece coach on the Hornsey Road?
Nicholas Jauvert.
Macclesfield 3, AFC Tottenham 3. What an FA Cup tie up in Mac. Daniel Elliott equalises for Macclesfield.
You know, obviously it was privileged to be here, but FA Cup first round, Dance, is a buzz day for all those teams that involved, all those fans that involved. That's what you look forward to.
Yeah.
The first round FA Cup proper.
And that's National League North against National League South. So somebody's guaranteed to get into round 2 who is, below step 5.
They say Chelmsford City won 4-1 earlier, didn't they, against Braintree?
Yeah.
Tyler got
Lyle Taylor,
Taylor got a couple of goals.
What a great signing that is for a club like Chelmsford.
United.
Slough 2, Altrincham 0 in the FA Cup. And Hearts have gone 2-0 up on Dundee, and Preston lead at Southampton. Ooh. Southampton 0, Preston 1, Lewis Dobbin. Penny for the thoughts of Will Still right now, with no win in 4 going into that one. Livingston 1, Hibs 1, Livingston equalised in Scotland. We've played 39 minutes here at Vicarage Road. Oh, Matty Pollock, given the hurry up by his goalkeeper, didn't think he had anybody with him as he ran back towards his own penalty area, but Tommy Conway was coming right in at him. Watford managed to get it clear. Loser clips the ball right to left along the halfway line for Bowler to pick it up. He will lay it off to Cipriano just inside the Middlesbrough half here. Just over 5 minutes to half time on TalkSport 2. Watford 2-0 up here. A reminder they've not kept a clean sheet all season, but they can still concede 1 today and pick up all 3 points. Here is Kevin. Plays the ball into the feet of Cipriano. Oh, little touch off Conway. Might break for Bergsorg, but Kevin steps in again to retain possession for Watford. Floats it out to the right-hand side. Barr has got ahead of Target. Will keep it in play down by the corner flag. At the Vicarage Road end, he's got Target backpedaling Barr as he gets into the area. Pulls it across the 6-yard line, and it was cleared away under pressure by Dale Fry, the Middlesbrough captain. Watford trying to keep it alive. Loser, quick feet at the edge of the D. Trying to make room for a shot, gets the shot away. It's only half clear, but Middlesbrough should complete the clearance now with Ayling bringing it up towards the halfway line. Finds Conway, he lays it back for Target, and they're being hurried, as Perry Gross has been saying, into their first and second balls. And then Bergsorg is offside as he tried to retrieve it, but whenever Middlesbrough get in possession, Watford are working so hard.
The reaction is quicker, Dance. That's what he said when you've lost possession. The first reaction to go and close the ball down. That's how Javi Garcia, the Watford manager, likes the team to play, and they've been very, very good down this right-hand side. Barr actually just taking Matt Target on 1v1, getting his cross in. Karumba can make a better run across the 6-yard box, and it came out to Loser. And again, if he picks the right pass, Loser, he just sort of dances in with his left foot. Karumba is unmarked, and he decided to take it on himself, get his shot away. Middlesbrough get the block in, but even then, you can see the reaction there from Dumbia, who's the Watford centre forward. As soon as he lost the ball, his first reaction is, right, I've got to go and put the person in possession of the ball, which was Tiger that time. I'll go and put them under pressure, and you can hear Dance, it actually riles the Watford crowd up. They get behind their team.
3.5 minutes to half time. Watford 2, Middlesbrough 0 on TalkSport 2. Bolton lead Huddersfield in the FA Cup, an all League One affair. Ibrahim Sissoko for Bolton, and Peterborough in another all League One tie are a goal up on Cardiff. Luke Williams, the new manager at Peterborough now, and Harry Leonard's put the Posh in front against Cardiff, who've got through to face Chelsea in the EFL Cup this week. Here's target for Middlesbrough. Slides it down the left-hand side of the box for the run of Aidan Morris, but a came cross, Kevin. What a sliding challenge, and then Ngakia didn't give it up and just let it drift out of play for a corner, and he was caught in the act of winning it back in the corner flag by Matt Targett, and there's Watford fans around us standing up and applauding that from both Kevin and Ngakia, not giving up at all for Watford. They lead 2-0, and after that opening 15 minutes where Middlesbrough looked pretty capable, Perry, what have you made of their performance since, in and around these two Watford goals?
Well, they've been sort of huffing and puffing, Dan, haven't they? They were very good in possession for that first 15 minutes. They're moving the ball very quickly. Hayden Hackney was getting himself involved in that sort of inside right position. They're getting into Watford's final third, but the final pass wasn't particularly good. I think Hayden Hackney had the first shot straight at Selvik, where he punched away, could have caught it. Matt Targett had a brilliant free kick, then it was a brilliant save from Selvik up high to his right hand side. But as soon as Watford scored, when Luther scored, it just seemed to take a little bit of the air out of the balloon, didn't it, of Middlesbrough. They just seemed to go sort of a little bit flat. And Watford have gained confidence. They've been snapping into tackles.
Foul throw from Jeremy Ngakia. How often do you see that given by a referee? And Ngakia penalised.
I thought the referee, John Budge, was just wiping his ears then. He doesn't need to show us that it's been a foul throw.
Incidentally, you mentioned it before kick-off whilst you and I were chatting with Faye. Rob Edwards made 4 substitutions at half-time last week against Wrexham to try and rectify a situation. This is an even more difficult situation there. 2 down here, 1 wonders.
Well, obviously he's gone into, you know, the back 5 or the back 3 when they're in possession, just trying to get the midfield play. You know, Morris, Hackney and Brown all in the same side. So you look at Hayden Hackney now, just dropping, I think far too deep, because obviously he wants to get his team back into the game.
A minute left in this first half, plus whatever John Busby wants to add on. There's not been too many stoppages that I can think of in this first half. Morris scampering down the right hand side for Middlesbrough, being faced up by Dumbia, back doing his good work that we've been talking about, the striker. Ayling tries to bring the ball down just outside the area. Brown tries to put a foot in for Middlesbrough. It's half volleyed clear by Vata, but drops in the centre circle for Alfie Jones for Middlesbrough. Plays it left to Targett. Conway's out on the left hand side, though he's caught late by Kevin there. It's going to be a yellow card for Kevin, so that's the second Watford player going into John Busby's notebook. Quadro Bar got a yellow card for a pretty poor challenge earlier, and Kevin's followed him into the notebook, which gives Perry Groves Middlesbrough a free kick level with the 18-yard line on this left-hand side. Watford 2-0 up.
Dan, you want your centre-half to be physical, and Kevin, to be fair, has been very physical in this first half, but don't give away needless free kicks, because Conway was going nowhere. He's virtually 2 yards in from the touchline. If Conway gets it, Kevin can just sort of ship him out. What he's done is give a free kick away, as you said there, it's going to give Matt Targett now the chance to whip the ball in with his left foot.
Boy, oh boy, do Middlesbrough need this. We're in 2 minutes of minimum stoppage time. Middlesbrough are 2-0 down, and Matt Targett has the free kick almost level with the 18-yard line, 2 or 3 yards in from this near touchline, with them attacking the rookery end. Races his right arm, now he delivers the free kick. Good delivery, Selvik punches clear pretty comfortably. There was nobody on top of him, and Hackney will just let the ball drift out of play on the far side for a throw. In the FA Cup, Crewe have taken a late lead in the first half against Doncaster Rovers. That's League 2 leading League 1 Mickey Demetrio from the back, and then a foul by Hackney as they tried to take the throw in quickly and get it down the right hand side of the Watford penalty area. An offence spotted by the assistant, and with a minute of that 2 minimum gone, Watford 2-0 up against Middlesbrough.
Do you think Selvik's been doing, the Watford goalkeeper's been doing some white collar boxing this week? That's about his 5th punch, I think, that he's had. To be fair to him, though, he's actually made the right decision each time. I think he maybe could have caught the shot from Hayden Hackney and parried it down, but he's looked very, very secure, and that gives the 2 centre-half, Kevin and Pollock, of Watford, it gives them that security, you know, that they know their goalkeeper's going to come for crosses when they come into the box.
Selvik clears left-footed downfield, headed up in the air by Doumbia. Middlesbrough try and win it back. Hackney helps it over halfway. Oxford equalise at home to Millwall in the Championship right on half-time. That's 1-1. Cameron Brannigan. Middlesbrough running out of time in this first half to do anything about this 2-0 scoreline that they face, but Ayling strides into the centre circle, has to lay it off in the end as he's crowded out. Fry sends it out to the right hand side, and Callum Britton thought about an early ball into the box, leaves it for Hackney. Hackney plays a short ball into Brown, and that means half time because the referee's blown the whistle, and Vicarage Road rises to these Watford players who were under pressure for the opening 10 to 15 minutes. But they've used their right-hand side to brilliant effect. First of all, Kwadwo Bar got away on the quarter-hour mark, got to the dead ball line, and a really clever pullback allowed the captain, Imran Louza, to run onto the loose ball and fairly thump it home to give the Hornets the lead. That just after the quarter-hour mark. Just after the half-hour mark, it was Jeremy Ngakia with the service this time, deeper from the right-hand side, and Luka Kurungo with a really clever, deft flick of a finish, helping it on its way past Sol Bryn and into the bottom corner. And a few punches that the Watford keepers required to stop Middlesbrough getting back into the game. One very good save from a Matt Targett free kick. But Rob Edwards, back on his old stomping ground, has got a very important half-time team talk to give. At the break, it is Watford 2, Middlesbrough 0. Well, that was doing my head in. We're underway. Thank you, Faye.
No, it wasn't. You doing Big Fish, Little Fish cardboard box?
Most definitely was not doing Big Fish, Little Fish cardboard box. Watford 2-0 up on Middlesbrough, and Watford will be attacking the rookery end to our left that they love to do in the second half of home matches, wearing their red and yellow first choice colours. Middlesbrough in their change strip today of white shirts with green sleeves and green shorts, white socks. And early in the second half, Derby have scored a second at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United 0, Derby 2. Carlton Morris once more. That's his 7th of the season now, putting the Blades further under pressure. I'll run you through the lineups in a minute, as I intimated when we were chatting with Faye just a moment or two ago. No changes for Middlesbrough nor for Watford as they come out from the tunnel. So now that the referee John Busby's given a free kick, I'll run you through the lineups. Selvik in goal for Watford, Ngakia, Kebben, Pollock and Bowler, Bar, Kiprianu, Louza, Vata, Doumbia and Kirungo. And as for Middlesbrough, Bryn in goal, Ayling, Fry and Jones, Britton, Morris, Hackney, Brown and Targett, Conway and Bergzorg. Have you noticed any discernible change in tactical approach from Middlesbrough at the start of this second half, Perry Groves?
No, just on this right hand side, obviously Britton was playing as a right wing back. When they're in position, he goes sort of as a right winger, so Luke Ayling then comes out into that sort of natural right back position. But no, there's been no change in shape, no change in personnel.
Bergzorg, lovely drag to get it down the left hand side of the area for Middlesbrough, just wrong footed in Ngakia for a moment. Targett drives it into the area, headed away by Bowler, the left back, up to halfway, but that's calmly taken down by Fry, the Middlesbrough captain. Now Aidan Morris takes over. Burton Albion get a second in the FA Cup at home to St Albans City. Charlie Webster for the Brewers. Vata tries to win a throw, ends up being a throw to Watford as he hits it against Hayden Hackney. I think Perry Groves might have an inane stat of the day coming up.
We just mentioned Burton against St Albans. St Albans have conceded 32 goals in the last 6 matches against Football League opposition. Averages 5.3 per game. But the last game they beat Forest Green 3-2.
Oh, there you go.
In the FA Cup.
Well, they're 2-0 down at the Silver Lake. Colchester back in front against MK Dons in the FA Cup. Perry will be delighted to know. Harry Anderson making it 2-1. And Charlton leads Swansea in the Championship by a goal to nil. Charlie Kelman early in the second half at the Valley. Here at Vicarage Road, a couple of minutes gone in the second half. Watford 2, Middlesbrough 0. Middlesbrough in possession just over the halfway line with Aidan Morris. Plays a short 1-2 with Hayden Hackney. Now out to Targett on the far left-hand side. Keeps the ball away from Ngakia. Hackney tries to feed Targett down the left-hand side of the box, but Kebben protects the ball well. and lets it trickle over the dead ball line for a Watford goal kick away to our right, 2-0.
That's been like a recurring theme for Middlesbrough, Dance, isn't it? Apart from that first sort of 10-15 minutes where Hayden Hackney's come from this right-hand side, drifted over to the inside left position. He just tried to play in that target and basically just hit it far too hard. In the end, it was easy for Kevin, just let the ball roll over the dead ball line, goes out for a goal kick. So there's been a lot of times when we've had that.
Dumbia gets away down the right-hand side. As Barr missed a header, but it worked for Dumbia. Goes for goal! Fantastic goal! Wowee! Watford are 3 up. A quite sensational hit from Mamadou Dumbia. The ball went down the right-hand side once more, over the head of Kwadwo Barr. But Dumbia seized upon it, turned in field, got up to the edge of the area and unleashed a rocket that Solbury never got near. And Watford are going goal crazy at the Vic this afternoon. It's an unhappy return for Rob Edwards. Middlesbrough protesting it, but the goal's going to stand. Watford 3, Middlesbrough 0.
Dance, quite simply, that is an absolute worldie. As the ball's just played down that right-hand side for Watford, it comes to Dumbia, then Middlesbrough just back off. Just looks like it's Brown who should be going to engage him. Then Fry comes across. Fry's got to go and engage him better. Gets it onto his left foot. Then he decides, right, I'm going to put my left foot through it. Puts his laces through it completely. It gives Bryn absolutely no chance in the Middlesbrough goal. High to his left-hand side. That is the game done and dusted, Dance. But that sort of encapsulates what's been wrong with Middlesbrough. They're surrounding the referee John Busby now because they're asking for a foul. It's not a foul. All it is coming together. Just go and engage the ball. Brilliant goal from Dumbia. Again, that is Watford at their clinical best. 3 shots on target, Dance, 3 goals.
And a first goal of the season for Mamadou Dumbia, the academy graduate, just 19 years of age. You'll remember that for an awfully long time to come because he gave that the treatment from 20 yards out and it fairly tore into the net. It was still rising when it hit the back of the net. Watford 3, Middlesbrough 0. 5 minutes gone in the second half. Crystal Palace have gone 2-0 up on Brentford through Nathan Collins, and Nottingham Forest have equalised against Manchester United. Morgan Gibbs-White equalising for the Tricky Trees. That's an own goal from Nathan Collins, incidentally, putting Palace 2-0 up against Brentford. And Stoke have gone 4-0 up on Bristol City. Junior Chamadeo early in the second half of the Potters. What a great afternoon for them. Oh, and Ipswich lead at QPR. Back in front there through Marcelino Nunez. Kieran McKenna, one of those managers linked with the vacancy at Celtic. So Middlesbrough, boy oh boy, they've got mountains to climb here. Rob Edwards looks on just down beneath us as Matt Targett has possession. Nicks it infield to Aidan Morris. Tries to curl it from the left-hand corner of the area, but it was deflected. Comes back to Hagney, who drives the ball first time well wide in the end. Just tried to take a snapshot as the ball ran across his body, but he didn't get hold of it. It's a goal kick to Watford, who lead 3-0 as Chatham Town of the Southern Premier lead at National League North Buxton in the FA Cup. And it's 3-0 here to the Hornets. Good touch from Rocco Vata. Stays in play on this near side, the Middlesbrough right, and Hackney tries to play the ball across the area for Conway. Headed away. Has that gone for a corner? No, it's a throw to Middlesbrough right by the corner flag in front of the Borough fans, who were looking a little dejected away to our right-hand side. Things have got to change, and quickly. Watford are really enjoying themselves here this afternoon. Luke Ayling winding up for a long throw, but as we mentioned, on this near side there's not a lot of room to get a run. He still gets the throw in, but it's flicked back towards the edge of the area. Barr gets it clear for Watford, but Targett is first on the scene to guide it back to his goalkeeper. And now Sol Bryn hits a diagonal ball, good ball out to Tommy Conway, and plenty of space on the Middlesbrough left. Now comes infield to the centre of the half, looking for an option, strokes it to his right for Ayling, moving up on this right hand side. Infield it goes to Hackney. Again, Hackney tries to get the afterburners on, get down the right hand side of the area. He fouled Kiprianu, who's staying with him, and it's a free kick. Nottingham Forest have taken the lead against Manchester United. It's now 2-1 to Forest, Perry. Nicolas Savona
First 2 goals for Nottingham Forest under Sean Dyche in the Premier League. Obviously got the really good win in Europe against Porto.
And Gateshead are 2-0 up at AFC Wimbledon in the FA Cup. Fenton John with the third for the side from the northeast. 3-0 here to Watford, and no sign of any Middlesbrough changes yet to try and change things. Try and change the pattern of this game. Ayling brings it clear for Middlesbrough up to halfway, clips it along the halfway line out to the left, and Matt Targett, he leaves it for Morris. Now Brown spots Britton in a bit of space, just tucks it infield, gets it back to Hackney, right hand side of the area, got 3 to aim at with the cross, and he hits the near post, and it's headed behind by Pollock for a Middlesbrough corner in front of the travelling fans. 3-0 to Watford, 8 minutes gone second half. Perry Groves.
Good defending from Pollock at his near post. Kevin and Pollock, the 2 centre halves from Watford, have been very, very solid today. With Hayden Hackney again, just trying to get a little bit of inspiration from Middlesbrough. Corner from Middlesbrough on their right hand side.
Targett going to take it. Clutch of players, about 10 players, 5 from each side around the penalty spot. Just away to our right hand side. Hearts 3 up on Dundee in Scotland, and Doncaster equalise at Crewe in the FA Cup. That's 1-1. Billy Sharp for Donny. Referee's happy there's no more pushing and shoving in that clutch of players around the penalty spot, and he's going to allow Matt Targett to take this corner kick. In it comes from the fullback into the near post. Where's that going to drop? Edge of the 6-yard box. There's a scramble trying to get onto the loose ball. Bergsall, is that handball by Pollock? No, it was a foul on Pollock as he fell to the floor and put his hand on the ball. That's because he'd been clipped. And Watford get a free kick when Middlesbrough wanted a penalty kick. 3-0 to the Hornets.
Dance, that was more like a maul, wasn't it? There was a ruck forming, because as Pollock tried to win the ball, someone tripped him and he actually went flying through the air and ended up landing on the top ball of his chest. I think John Busby, the referee, was actually quite relieved, because it got a little bit ugly there, to be fair. The ball was under a melee of bodies. In the end, he gives a free kick for Watford and they just try and play out from the back.
10 minutes gone in the second half on TalkSport 2. Remember, live FA Cup action after we're done here at Vicarage Road. Brackley Town against Notts County. 5:30 kick-off, so stay on this frequency and we'll guide you through that first round tie between Brackley Town and League 2 Notts County. And then we're off to Co-op Live in Manchester for the undercard from 7:30. Ahead of the main event, Joshua Boatsy against Zach Parker for the British Light Heavyweight title. And we'll switch to Talk Sport from 10 o'clock after they've done with our commentary game at 8 p.m. on Talk Sport from the Premier League, Liverpool against Aston Villa. Loads of live sport this weekend. Tranmere 0, Stockport 1 in the FA Cup. Jack Diamond puts Stockport ahead in a, well, you can call that a local derby, can't you? And Sutton in the National League now 2-0 up on AFC Telford. 3-0 here to Watford. And I'm still waiting, Perry Groves, for Rob Edwards to deal something from the pack.
Well, it's obviously Dan's invitation now from Middlesbrough's point of view. 3-0 down. Then what you're hoping, you get a little bit of magic, get yourself back into the game at 3-1, put that little bit of doubt in the Watford players' minds. But at the moment, Dance, it's absolutely rocking here, isn't it, at Vicarage Road? Because I don't think their wildest dreams, the Watford fans, would see their team being 3-0 up against Middlesbrough, a team that has been in really, really good form. Obviously, second in the table coming in today's game.
Only one defeat, remember, up until today for Middlesbrough. Here's Alan Brown, centre of the Watford half, steps away from Loser, but across comes Barr with a brilliantly timed challenge, particularly as he's on a yellow card. And then he shows great strength to hold up 2 Middlesbrough players, and now he's bringing it away at pace. Quadro Barr up to halfway. Great industry. Plays a good ball in field as well. Rocco Vata gets onto it. Oh, he tried to go for glory from 30 yards. Hit across the ball, and it went way, way wide. Worth a shy from Rocco Vata, but the tenacious work of Quadro Barr was quite brilliant for Watford there. 3-0.
That all started because Barr was actually backing his captain Loser up, because Morris had the ball, skipped inside Loser. Barr comes in from that right hand side, he gets his first tackle in, then rides the second one, wins the third challenge, then he just gets it to Vata. And I was looking at Vata Dance, he's got his shot away from 30 yards. I'm thinking, please don't you dare look down at the pitch and pretend that there's a divot or a bobble or so, whatever.
And
He didn't, so he's all right, because there's no moles that you get round this area. But again, I think that just shows the difference in Watford out of possession and off the ball. Every one of them was working hard.
Bergzorg suddenly onto the loose ball for Middlesbrough, drives a right-footed shot, an inch or two wide of Selvic's right-hand post. He was at full stretch, diving to his right. Just dropped for Bergzorg, 20 yards out, just to the right of the D. Hit a low daisy cutter, but it was well wide. So 3-0 here to Watford as we head round towards the hour mark at Vicarage Road. Colchester 2, MK Dons 2 in the FA Cup. MK level for a second time through Russian Hepburn Murphy. Grimsby 1, Ebbsfleet 1 in the FA Cup. Grimsby equalised through Danny Rose, and Birmingham lead Portsmouth 2-0 now in the Championship to Moki Iwata. Watford 3-0 up here and loving it. Vata in the centre circle, tries to roll away from Morris, who caught him, free kick, and it's all going Watford's way.
Yeah, Vata did really well in the centre circle, just spinning away from Morris. I think Morris's knee maybe caught him in the thigh, might have had a dead leg. Just earlier, Loser had the ball for Watford in his own final third, and he actually overplayed, and Bergzorg was one who nicked it off him. So that's what Watford have to be careful of, not getting too overconfident, not overplaying too much, taking too many touches. So just a little warning there for Watford, because Bergzorg actually should have hit the target. In the end, it just goes past Selvic's right-hand post. So this is now just about game management, coming up to an hour playing. Now Watford don't have to force it, they have to stand their 4-4-2 shape, just leave Dumbia and Kurumba up front, just have those two banks of four and just play off the two front men.
That's the voice of Perry Groves, former Arsenal title winner, on TalkSport 2. He'll be on TalkSport tomorrow with Steve Woodencroft and the team for Game Day Live. Goals from the Premier League and the FA Cup from 1:30. West Ham Newcastle is Perry's port of call tomorrow in the Premier League. In the Championship, Ipswich have gone 3-1 up at QPR. George Hurst with another for him for the afternoon. You're missing none of the action here because Morris is getting treatment at the moment. Not Morris, forgive me, it's the Watford player that's getting treatment at the moment in the centre circle.
I think it's Vata.
It is indeed Rocco Vata, the former Celtic Youth and Republic international. Grimsby now in front against Ebbsfleet of the National League South. Grimsby 2, Ebbsfleet 1, but Ebbsfleet are down to 10. And Vata's got a dead leg, it seems, because he's been carried off. He will not be able to continue. That's bad news for him. And coming on to replace him is a man representing his 12th English club, son of Paul Ince. Tom Ince is coming on here, 33 years of age now. Tom hasn't scored this season, 99 league goals to his name throughout his career, and hopefully Rocco Vata is going to be okay in the short term. But as you say, Perry Groves, might just be a dead leg he's caught there.
Yeah, I think he just signalled straight away. He said I think it was Morris's knee that just caught him in his thigh. Hopefully, it's nothing too serious. Then Tom Ince will come on, he'll play obviously in that left-hand side, just a like-for-like position.
Bolton 1, Huddersfield 1. Bojan Radulovic equalises for Huddersfield in the FA Cup first round. Middlesbrough, with just over an hour gone, 3-0 down and staring their second defeat only of this season in the face. They've got half an hour to try and rescue the situation, but they're going to need goals quickly. Here's Luke Ayling playing a square ball across to the centre of the Watford half for Alan Brown. Pokes it up to Hackney. He let the ball trickle under his boot, and that allowed Ngakia to pick up the loose ball, but he gives it back to Hayden Hackney down the Middlesbrough left. Target works it back in field to Morris. Morris wants an option. He's holding his arms out, he's not getting one. Plays it back out left to Target. Target swings the cross in, headed up in the air unconvincingly by Kebben, and then it's lovely hook clearance from Tom Ince, just swept it forward. Just wouldn't drop for Dumbia on halfway, the scorer of Watford's extraordinary third goal. Birmingham City have got a third goal against Portsmouth. Christoph Clara up from the back to make it 3-0 at St Andrews.
Yeah, just looking at Watford, Dan, it's obviously that they haven't got to chase the game. They just got that solid 4-4-2 shape, and then when Middlesbrough have controlled possession, Dumbia just dropped back a little bit deeper. Watford leave Kurumba up front, so they've still got an outfit.
It's Conway onside, inside the area, the shot deflected behind. What a challenge by Matty Pollock to deny the shot getting on target. It is a corner to Middlesbrough, and that was quite clever play, turning the ball round the corner for Conway down the left-hand side of the box. 3-0.
Really good defending from Pollock, again putting his body on the line. So Conway just getting himself free in that inside left position, thinks he's just going to get his shot across Selvik. Great block from Pollock, corner for Middlesbrough on the left.
Taken by Target, headed down by Fry, but there was a push on a Watford player inside the box, spotted by John Busby. Pollock, the man who was fouled. Free kick to the Hornets. So a reminder, we've got the Fight Night live from 7:30 on TalkSport 2 tonight. Joshua Buatsi, Zach Parker, the main event for the British light heavyweight title at the Co-op live in Manchester. And Monday night game night on TalkSport from the Premier League, Sunderland against Everton at 8 o'clock. What a season Sunderland are having. And that will be an 8 o'clock kick-off Monday night on TalkSport with Adrian Durham, Mark Wilson and Troy Deeney, your commentary team up at the Stadium of Light.
Whatever, but the trend Sunderland, everybody says about, players coming in, having to adapt to the Premier League. What, they have 14 signings?
Well, they've made it work for him.
Granit Xhaka. So you need the shepherd. Everybody needs a little shepherd. Well, he's quite a big shepherd, actually.
Just over 25 minutes to go on TalkSport 2. Middlesbrough showing no signs, as things stand, that they can get a foothold in this contest. Watford, as things stand, about to earn their first clean sheet of the season, and in doing so get back-to-back home wins to try and get themselves back at the table. Here's Loser, who got things going with the first goal. That's worked out to Bowler on this left-hand side, with Watford attacking the rookery end in the second half. Loser, tight to this near touchline, works the ball in field. Was challenged by Brown. Ayling gets a shove in the back for Kjørumgaard. That's a free kick to Middlesbrough. And still we wait for Rob Edwards to make changes, and we're entering the last quarter of the game, Perry Groves.
Yeah, it's been very, very surprising. So because his team were 2-0 down at half-time, playing the three centre-halves, I still don't see, especially when you've gone 3-0 down, why you need three centre-halves on the pitch. You might as well just go to a flat back four, put another forward on.
Aidan Morris urged to shoot for the Middlesbrough fans behind that goal. He does try for goal, but it was blocked at source. Charlton 1, Swansea 1 in the Championship. Swansea equalised at the Valley. Middlesbrough keep possession on halfway. It's 3-0 to Watford. Ball up to the edge of the area. Conway wants to get a piece of it. It's headed away by Ngakia, seized upon by Bergzorg, who plays a 1-2 and drifts out to the left-hand side for Middlesbrough. Lays it off to Hackney, 30 yards from goal. Goes for goal, and it was always going wide. I think the keeper had it covered and knew it. Ends up being a goal kick to Watford, and they keep their 3-0 lead on TalkSport 2.
Right, Dan, so I think that's a bit of a sign of desperation from Middlesbrough there, because Bergzorg has the ball in the inside left position, puts it to Hayden Hackney. He can come back across again to Brown, and then come out to this right-hand side onto Britton. And then in the end, Hayden Hackney just thinks, oh, I'll have a shot. There wasn't any real conviction behind it whatsoever. And say that was more out of desperation. But that sort of sums Middlesbrough up after the first 15 minutes of the game, where they've been very poor when they've been in Watford's defensive third.
Changes coming for Middlesbrough, though. You can see Riley McGree, the Australian, down beneath us. Sonja Hansen going to come on as well, and I think I saw David Strelic as well. Meanwhile, QPR 1, Ipswich 4 at Loftus Road. Marcelinho Nunez, he gets his second of the game. Fulham 2, Wolves 0 in the Premier League. Harry Wilson. Ball breaks in the area for Middlesbrough. Hackney tried to take the ball with him. He plays for handball against Hackney, but ball back safely in the arms of the Watford keeper anyway. Another goal in the Premier League. Brighton 2, Leeds United 0. Diego Gomez puts Brighton 2 clear at the Amex. Wolves are down to 10 men against Fulham, who are 2-0 up, as I just mentioned. And it is indeed, it's going to be 4 substitutes. He's done it again, but this time not at half-time. He's done it with a quarter of the game to go, Rob Edwards.
Dan, the horse hasn't bolted, it's actually disappearing over the horizon. This is far too late for Rob Edwards.
Cipriano keeps the ball alive for Watford in the centre circle. Bolton go 2-1 in front against Huddersfield in the FA Cup at the Tough Sheets. Richard Taylor.
Well said.
Thank you. Always a tricky one. Loser on halfway. Certainly not a loser today. Been instrumental in all the good stuff that Watford have been doing coming forward. He finds Ince. left-hand side, chips the ball up to the edge of the area, headed back to him by Bowler, who'd got into a forward position. Loser now works his way in field, plays a 1-2 with Kurumgor, trying to turn away from the attentions of Dale Fry. Has to work the ball all the way back to the halfway line, and then Pollock chips the ball forward. Good run from Dumbia, but the ball just skipped away from him and through to the grateful arms of the goalkeeper. Still the 4 subs wait to make their entrance. Ball given away by Middlesbrough in the centre circle. In fact, it's a 5-man change. Cali Sen's coming on as well. But first things first, here come Watford, crossing the ball from the right through Quadro bar, cleared away. Stoke City 5, Bristol City 0, hat-trick for Divine Mubama. Reading 2, Carlisle 0 in the FA Cup, and the ball's out of play for a throw. And does this finally signal the 5 changes for Middlesbrough? It would appear so. And we start with Strelic coming on for Alfie Jones. That's definitely an attacker for a defender. So the poor 4th official's got to really work hard with his little numbers, digits. Also coming off Delano Bergsall makes way for Whittaker, Morgan Whittaker, who recently scored his first goal for Middlesbrough. Substitution number 3 sees Aidan Morris replaced by Riley McGree. Substitution number 4 will see Cali Sen, who you and I, Perry, saw score a lovely goal down at Southampton a few weeks ago. And he's going to come on for Hayden Hackney, who's being brought off here. Interesting decision from Bob Edwards. And the final player coming on is Soncha Hansen. Hackney's only just realised that he's been hooked here. Now he's jogging over. Oxford 1, Millwall 2 meantime. Jake Cooper's put Millwall back in front at the Kazam. It's a big goal for Millwall. And the final change sees Tommy Conway making way for Soncha Hansen. So I always said if Barry Fry was still managing in this day and age, Perry Groves, he'd be making 5 substitutions at once every single game. I think, but it's so rare to see it.
I think the EFL need to bring in a rule dance, because they don't realise how difficult it is for the commentators and the co-commentators and the 4th official to actually write down who's going off, who's going where, who's playing on what. 5 at a time.
5 changes all at once made by Middlesbrough, and they've got 20 minutes to do something about this 3-0 scoreline by which Watford are cruising to victory.
Well, Whittaker come out on this right-hand side, Sen will go up front, Hansen on the left-hand side. Just to put a bit of fresh energy.
Well, Whittaker now trying to get onto a loose ball, but he's been beaten to it by Bowler. Ince down the left-hand side of the area, tries to play the ball inside Britton, but Callum Britton gets it clear for Middlesbrough, straight onto the head of Pollock, who heads it strongly back downfield. It's going to drift out of play for a Middlesbrough goal kick, is it? Yes, it is. Mansfield 2, Harrogate 1 in the FA Cup. George Maris for Mansfield. Tranmere equalise against Stockport County in the first round of the Cup. That's 1-1 now. The League 2 side level through Amari Patrick. Swindon level at Rotherham in the FA Cup. That's 1-1. Ollie Palmer. And it's 3-0 to Watford here on TalkSport 2 with 19 minutes left. Whittaker, first time ball, out to the left-hand side. He's done well. He's found Riley McGree. McGree will lay it off to Brown in the centre of the Watford half. McGree again tucks it out to Target on the left-hand side. Ball along the deck. Strelic with his back to goal, trying to hold on to the ball. Can't do so. Ngakia plays it clear. Good hold-up play from Dumbia. Out towards the far touchline. Little flick inside, trying to get Barr away, but across came Brown to put it out of play for a Watford throw. But the home fans, there's got to be 18,000, I would say, inside Vicarage Road this afternoon. Perry Gross, delighted with what they're seeing. Delighted.
Very much so. That's to not stay in the game in that first 15 minutes. But they've been absolutely ruthless for their finishing. Every single goal's been of top quality from Loser, Karunga and Dumbia. Dumbia is especially down to obviously the sort of 25-yarder left foot top corner. I'm looking at Middlesbrough. They've gone 4-2-4 now, right? With 4 new forwards up front. You've got Whittaker on the right-hand side, with Sen and Strelec through the middle.
Yeah.
McGree on the left-hand side. So why didn't Rob Edwards do that at half-time, or worst ways out after 5 minutes? Because his team were 2-0 down and they were desperate to get back into the game. They go 3-0 down.
Well, I think it's worth asking that question, given that he made the 4 changes at half-time against Wrexham. That's the odd thing. Here is Whittaker, right-hand corner of the area for Middlesbrough. Trying to twist and turn away from Ince, who's at his back. Work back to Whittaker again near the right-hand corner of the box. Comes in field now. Ince still tracking the run. Whittaker tried to play it across, but Ince got his foot in, and now Kirungo brings it away. He's got Dumbia ahead of him. Dumbia now picks it up inside right channel for Watford. Only Kirungo up with him, and Barr now coming to join in the fun on the right-hand side. Dumbia goes for goal again, pushed out by Bryn, and he drops on the loose ball before Kirungo can get to it. Dumbia fancied another belter from just outside the area. 3-0.
Good link-up play again from Watford's 2 centre forwards, Dumbia and Kirungo. Kirungo picking the ball up, centre circle, releasing Dumbia on that right-hand side. Again getting onto his left foot. This time he's trying to bend it inside Bryn's bottom right-hand corner. Not quite get enough whip on it.
Poor crossfield ball from Whittaker, seized upon by Ngakia. Here's Dumbia in the centre circle for Watford. Finds Ince. Brighton 3, Leeds 0 in the Premier League. Diego Gomez with his second and Brighton's third. Stockport back in front of the FA Cup at Tranmere through Ollie Norwood. Tranmere 1, Stockport 2. Boreham with 3. Crawley Town 0. What a day for the National League side against League 2 Crawley. And Barrow 2-0 up at Spennymoor Town elsewhere in the first round. And Sheffield United get a goal back at home to Derby. Sheffield United 1, Derby 3. Callum O'Hare with a goal back from the Blades. Ball's up to halfway. Dumbia won't get onto that. It's out of play. And it goes for a Middlesbrough throw. A couple of changes coming up for Watford. Jeremy Petrie is going to be brought on, so too Nestori Irankunda. And we're about to find out who is making way for those 2 gents to come on to see this game out for Javi Gracia and Watford. Bowler's come over to this near side, but I think he's getting some instructions rather than being switched over. And now Rob Edwards is bringing a few players over because Dale Fry's been receiving treatment on the far side of the field, so a chance for some impromptu coaching. But here come the changes for Watford, and Cladwo Barr, who's put in quite a shift on that right hand side, but he did pick up a yellow card in the first half. He's making way for Jeremy Petrie. Putting a good shift, hasn't he, Cladwo Barr, today?
Yeah, very much so, Dan. Obviously got the assist for first goal, cross from the right hand side, made sure he got his head up, bit of quality. But you'd have to say all the Watford players dance and put a shift in, didn't they, off the ball. That's what Javi Garcia
and Kirungo is the other player making way to allow Irankunda to enter the fray, wearing number 66 for Watford in this squad. Bayern Munich youth player, joined in July. He's got a couple of goals, both came in August. More diminutive than the man he's replaced. Bromley 0, Bristol Rovers 1 in the FA Cup. Deadlock broken in that cup tie by Fabrizio Cavegni. So back underway on TalkSport 2 with 14 minutes to go. Don't forget we're off to the FA Cup next here. Stay on this frequency for Brackley Town against Notts County. 5:30 kickoff between Brackley and Notts County, and then in the Premier League at 8 o'clock on TalkSport, Liverpool against Aston Villa is our exclusive commentary for you.
Yeah, Petrie just going on that right hand side, just trying to negate the threat of Hansen, who's playing on the wide left, obviously, because Middlesbrough have gone the sort of the 4-2-4 now.
Barr's just getting a round of applause because he walked around the perimeter of the pitch from where he walked off on the far side. He's just given his shirt to a little girl in the front row as he goes back to join his teammates on the bench.
Did you have to sign up? Can I have your shirt?
I'm not sure that it did.
When I was at Highbury, they used to have signs up, I don't want your shirt. It was a bit hard.
Good flick on by Irankunda, and Doumbia, who scored Watford's third, is quickly onto it. Left hand side, plays it back in field. Good touch, Irankunda. He's got Loser calling for it on the right hand side of the box, but he actually tried to thread it through to Petrie. And Middlesbrough were able to get possession back and bring it clear.
Irankunda just picked the wrong pass. Really good link-up play with Doumbia. Should have rolled it out to Loser on the right-hand side. Tried to roll in Petrie.
Here is Callum Britton for Middlesbrough. 12 minutes to go on TalkSport 2. Middlesbrough 3-0 down. Alan Brown goes for a speculative shot, just into a crowd of players just inside the area. Shades of desperation now about what Middlesbrough are doing. Burton Albion 4, St Albans City 0. What were you talking earlier about about St Albans' goal against record not being great?
St Albans, average, they concede 5.3 per game in the FA Cup first round against league opposition.
Hearts 4-0 up on Dundee in Scotland. Thomas Magnuson with the 4 for the Jam Tarts. Fantastic year for the side from Tynecastle. Can they break the stranglehold of Celtic for the Premiership title? Matt Targett brings the ball out of the sky when he was trying to keep it away from Petrie on the Watford right. It's now moved across to the Middlesbrough right. Britton. Infield it goes to Riley McGree. Plays a short 1-2 with Brown. Barnsley have turned it around against York. 2-1 they lead now in the FA Cup. They were a goal down, but Davis Keeler-Dunn's got his and Barnsley's second. Here is Sonja Hansen playing the ball in field to Luke Ayling. We'll get team news from Brackley, Notts County in just a moment, but here comes Morgan Whittaker down the right-hand side of the box for Middlesbrough, clips it to the far post. Hansen tries to help it back across the face of goal for Sen, but got it all wrong, and Watford can bring it clear. It stays 3-0. Let's get that team news for our FA Cup tie at 5:30. Brackley Town, Notts County, with the details, Mike McCarthy.
Well, League 2 Notts County have gone strong. Ness and Norburn come in, but frontman Jatta and Tottenham loanee Tyrese Hall start as well. The National League hosts have captain Gareth Bean back from suspension. Former Wolves midfielder Jack Price among their 11 as well. Brackley Town, Notts County from 5:30 on TalkSport 2.
Thank you, Mike. So stay with us here and you'll hear that commentary in full. Or there's the game day phone-in over on TalkSport with Jamie O'Hara. And I think Rory Jennings is with Jamie tonight, taking your calls on 03717 223344. Wickham 2-0 up on Plymouth in the FA Cup. Corley Woodrow gets the second, scored a great goal in the week against Fulham in the EFL Cup. Did Corley Woodrow against his old employers. Bristol Rovers 2-0 up at Bromley. Joel Cottrell with a second in the FA Cup first round. Tom Ince is pushed over and Watford get a free kick. With 10 minutes to go, Perry Groves, there's no sense of any jeopardy in this game anymore from the Watford fans around us. They're not thinking, well, I'm not sure about this.
No, there's no tension, is there? There's no nerves. Obviously, with your team 3-up with 10 minutes to go, you know you'll be a little bit confident. Just again, from Middlesbrough point of view, Whittaker did brilliantly going down the right-hand side, went on the outside of Bar, and then as he's crossed it to the far post, Hansen's come in and he should be heading it down. He should be actually heading it back across Selvik, and he's actually tried to volley it and he's got the ball caught up on his feet. That just sort of encapsulates everything that's been with Middlesbrough today, because he just made the wrong decisions when they got in the final third.
It's the voice of Perry Groves, and the voices you heard around us going "wah hey" a moment ago were for Matty Pollock, just with a no-nonsense Abbott clearance out of play for Watford. Fulham 3, Wolves 0, an own goal from Yerson Mosquera, who I heard Martin Keown call him Mascara in the week. An own goal from him. Fulham 3-0 up in the Premier League. Ball up to Cali Sen is way over his head. Middlesbrough just not getting it right this afternoon. That first 10-15 minutes they threatened. Since then,
actually they've run out of ideas, and that is why we were saying, you know, after the game, I hope, you know, some of the journalists asked Rob Edwards why he didn't make changes at half time, because they were sort of just scratching around. There was no spark, you know, there was no invention. And he made obviously the 5 substitutes, but his team were 3-0 down by then.
Whittaker trying to wriggle his way up to the edge of the area, but it's one back by Watford, and they're on the charge. Irankunda piling forward. Petrie just ahead of him, squares it left, goes slightly behind it, has to check his run, but he will pick it up for Watford. Across the line to his captain Loser, 30 yards from goal, quite central. Options left and right. Goes to his immediate right for Ngakia. Now Irankunda. Just short passing now from Watford. Loser looks for Dumbia inside the area, just gets away from him, and the goalkeeper smothers, and it stays 3-0 to Watford. Nottingham Forest 2, Manchester United 2. Amad Diallo equalises for Manchester United at the City Ground. Burton 5, St Albans City 0 in the FA Cup, and Stoke City 5, Bristol City 1. Mark Sykes maybe starts to come back for Bristol City, the Bet365. Mansfield 2, Harrogate 2 in the FA Cup. Harrogate equalised. Irankunda picks up the loose ball on halfway for Watford. He's got them backpedaling in the Middlesbrough defence. Finds Loser down the left-hand side of the area. Can't take a shot. The angle was getting too tight for him, so he holds on to possession. Then a little back heel gets into the area. Left-hand side, cross to the far post. Just evaded Petrie because Dale Fry got a vital flick header to it to keep it away. Stays 3-0 Watford.
Well, it's actually turning exhibition football now from Watford, especially the captain Loser. He had a little Cruyff turn in the centre circle, which released Irankunda. Then Irankunda actually should have played his pass a little bit earlier. Then it comes back to Loser. Then he has a little drag back and a little flick. Just tried to release Ince down that left-hand side. But I think from Javi Gracia's point of view, the Watford manager, he'll want his team just to keep their shape, Dad. You know, we don't want to give a goal away. They haven't had a clean sheet all season.
Well, that's the aim now.
Desperate exactly for a clean sheet.
Well, they've got 6 minutes plus added time to protect that clean sheet that they've got. Middlesbrough have won a free kick tight to the far touch line. Over on the far side, the left-hand side for Middlesbrough, where they're attacking the Vicarage Road end in this second half. So Target's going to swing it in. Middlesbrough fans still making plenty of noise away to our right, but they've had very little to sing about this afternoon so far. What can this free kick deliver for the Teessiders? Target steps up to the ball, good ball in, and it was Strelic who got kind of a combination of head and shoulder to it, and it went way over the crossbar. Watford get a goal kick, and the seconds tick away. 5 minutes to go on TalkSport 2, plus added time. It's 3-0 to Watford.
That's when Watford have been very, very good, Dad, when the ball's been coming into the box. I said about Kevin and Pollock, obviously 2 Watford centre-halves, making sure that they get the first contact. Strelic, again, just trying to get across. I think it was Pollock. Pollock made sure he just shouldered him out the way, so he couldn't get a decent header.
Looking at the as-it-stands table, Middlesbrough with this defeat would drop down to 3rd because Millwall are still in front at Oxford United by 2-1. So Millwall, who we will be with them next Saturday lunchtime at home to Preston, are 2nd in the table. Coventry lost last night on 28 points. Middlesbrough would move on to 26. Middlesbrough would stay on 25. Stoke would move on to 24. And Watford, with this 3 points they're picking up here, Perry, would go into the top half, into 10th.
Well, before the kick-off today, Dan said only 6 points away from those playoff places. And you know, we was talking about trying to work out what formation.
Here's Bowler with a cross to the far post. It swirls away from Watford players. Loose, they can't keep it in. It's a goal kick. You were saying, Perry?
We're saying it's very difficult to work out the formations that Watford are going to play. You know, we know they've played the 5-3-2. We know they're 4-3-2-1. You know they've gone 4-2-2-2. I can guarantee you, Dad, the next game will be 4-4-2 without any shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
Because that's what's worked for here today.
Well, Imran Loser set the ball rolling for Watford, but he's being replaced by Eder Kiyembe for these last few minutes. Real shift from the captain. He wants to hand the captain's armband to somebody, and the referee says, just do it and hurry up.
The Loser says, you're having a laugh, mate. I'm just going to milk it for everything that it's worth here, because obviously I'm the captain, I've got the first goal, and the other here is getting a standing ovation.
The other player coming off should get a standing ovation, Mamadou Doumbia, for his fantastic strike that made it 3-0. Vivaldo Semedo, another Udinese signing, is coming on for him for these last 3 or 4 minutes of action here on TalkSport 2. Colchester United 2, MK Dons 3 in the FA Cup.
Contract in the league.
And George Maris has made it Mansfield 3, Harrogate 2 in another topsy-turvy FA Cup first round tie of the one call. Macclesfield 6, AFC Tottenham 3. That was 3-3 at half time. Ticking down towards the last 2 minutes of normal time here at Vicarage Road.
Yes, Semedo just got up front with
Irankunda. It's a brand new front line for Watford. Ball bounces away from Semedo. Picked up by Kayembe, who immediately looks for Bowler. Still full of running down the left-hand side. Whips the ball in for Watford. Cleared away on the half volley by Fry. Ince gets his head to it to keep it away from Whittaker. Kept in play by Pollock. Neatly done actually by Matty Pollock. Didn't just thump it anywhere. Worked it down the line for his teammate. Selvik, the goalkeeper, clips it downfield first time. Looking for Irankunda onto the chest of Semedo. Oh, he holds it up really nicely. Feeds it out down the left-hand side to Mark Bowler once more. Watford really are enjoying their football this afternoon and turning on the style. Ince knocks the ball infield to Cipriano. Lovely 1 and 2 touch football. Kayembe now across to Ngakia. And back to the halfway line and Keben. Cipriano knocks it backwards to square to Pollock, who's got the captain's armband now since Loser went off.
Well, Pollock's painting the pictures now from the back. Got the captain's armband. Just dictating play every time it comes into him. Just moving the ball on nice and quickly.
Barnsley 2, York 2 in the FA Cup. Mark Kitching equalises for York City. Birmingham City 4, Portsmouth 0. Keshi Anderson with a 4th for the Blues. And here come Watford again, looking for a 4th themselves. Jeremy Ngakia, right-hand corner of the box. Just held up for a moment. Tries to go on the outside of target. Hits it against the fullback. And will let it drift out of play. Will he? No, he keeps it in play on the far side rather than let it go out for a throw. Into the last 30 seconds of normal time on TalkSport 2. FA Cup action coming up next. We're moving into 6 minutes of minimum stoppage time when we get there. Ince tries to play a 1-2 with Irankunda. Great quick feet from Irankunda, and then he slips at the edge of the area trying to work the ball through to Semedo. But Middlesbrough's clearance is wild and loose and comfortably picked off by Watford before he even gets to the halfway line.
Well, if Rob Edwards had a towel and he was a cornerman in a boxing match, he'd throw it in at the minute, 'cause that's what the Middlesbrough players have done. They've just looked over to the fourth official and thought, really, we've got 6 more minutes of this? They just want to get off the pitch as quickly as possible.
Well, will the towel come in between Buatsi and Parker tonight? You'll find out on TalkSport 2 and TalkSport. 7:30 will be at the Co-op Live in Manchester for the undercard, and then for Buatsi Parker, the main event, that will be on TalkSport from 10 o'clock. Fleetwood 2, Barnet 0 in the FA Cup. Fleetwood are through. Oldham 3, Northampton 1. Here's a chance for Strelic at the other end to break that clean sheet for Watford. Can he get it, Strelic? No, he's fired it wide from the corner of the 6-yard box, having been played in. That's as close as Middlesbrough have come in this second half. Simple ball through the middle for Strelic to run onto. But when he got the shot away, just got it, smacked it wide of the post, having taken the extra touch. And I think Selvik would have had it covered anyway. 3-0 Watford.
Brilliant ball from Senik from this right-hand side. It was absolutely waiting perfectly for Strelic, and Strelic then gets to the 18-yard box. And Ngakia's trying to get back. He should get his shot away a little bit earlier, because Ngakia slides in, and because he slides in, then he takes another touch. That gives Pollock the chance to get himself across to slide in. Puts Strelic off, doesn't hit the target. You said there, doesn't even trouble Selvik in the Watford goal. And you could tell that Ngakia and Pollock, their dads, were desperate that they have this clean sheet.
They will know full well. They'll be on a clean sheet bonus. Sen trying to flick the ball in field from this near side, the Middlesbrough right. But Kevin actually wins a throw for Watford. Hits it against Kali Sen. So it's a throw. So again, Robbie, what's the score is the chant from the Watford fans to Rob Edwards just down beneath us. A chastening afternoon for him. Watford after this off to Ipswich in midweek for their next fixture. Then they've got a home match here at the Vic against Bristol City, away at Derby, home to Preston and away at Birmingham. Middlesbrough's next game is an intriguing one at Leicester, who lost earlier today live on TalkSport 2. You heard that comfortable defeat against Blackburn Rovers. So Leicester, Middlesbrough, and then Middlesbrough are at home to Birmingham, away at Oxford, home to Coventry, what a game that'll be, and home to Derby. Will Middlesbrough and Coventry be the top two by the time that comes around? Because right now Middlesbrough are not top two. That belongs to Millwall. They have gone second, 2 points behind Coventry by virtue of the win they're getting currently at Oxford United. But it's party time here at Vicarage Road with half of the allotted stoppage time gone. They're 3-0 up and they are full of song on the terraces around us. And to be fair to the Middlesbrough fans, they haven't drifted out the stadium quite yet. It's a long way back for them, up to Teesside, and they won't have much to cheer heading back home, Perry Groves.
No, not really, Dance.
Here's Whittaker, though, down the right-hand side. Thought he was going to get away, but he just elected to play it back in field. Barnsley 3, York 2. Barnsley may have won it at Oakwell late on through Mark Roberts up from the back. Reading 2, Carlisle 1, maybe too late for Carlisle. Ball into the box, Strelec with a header and tipped over by Selvik. Corner for Middlesbrough, the clean sheet not quite there for Watford yet. 3-0 they lead.
Yeah, Britain just easing the ball from his right-hand side into the 18-yard box. Strelec just pulling off of Pollock, getting his head to the ball. Didn't really trouble Selvik in the Watford goal, Dance, because it was straight at him, just tipped over the crossbar. But now they're going to be on high alert because they were desperate to keep this clean sheet, so you can see that Selvik's just trying to rouse his defenders.
Hansen with the corner, and it's too deep for everybody. It's going to drift out of play right by the corner flag on this near side. There's a bit of pushing and shoving inside the 6-yard box. Strelec getting involved with 1 or 2 in Watford shirts and being told to walk away. I think the referee's just going to calm it down, and I don't think he's going to issue any cards. At least it doesn't look like he is.
But to be fair, Senna's just been really silly. Cipriano just put his sort of palm on his face, and I'm glad that Cipriano didn't go down, Dance, because he's 6'2", and it was just a sort of get away, and he thought about throwing himself on the floor.
Didn't do the Rivaldo, that famous Rivaldo, when he got hit in the thigh and touched his face. Burton Albion 6, St Albans City 0.
Told you it's 5.8 per game.
You did. And Stockport 3-1 up at Tranmere in the FA Cup. So we'll finally restart play with a goal kick for Watford. Hit left-footed by Selvik downfield. Not had much to do in this game, Selvik, apart from the save from that Matt Targett free kick in the first half. Certainly had very little to do in the second. Sol Bryn, who's seen 3 shots fly past him this afternoon, could do nothing about those. Middlesbrough only clear to halfway. Picked up by Jeremy Ngakia. One last chance for Watford to extend the lead, perhaps. Ngakia tucks it in field for Kembe. Got a bit of space. Ince to his left. Ince to the edge of the area. Tries to drive. Brilliant block from Luke Ayling, as Ince was winding up to try and get league goal number 100. And there goes the full-time whistle, and it's back-to-back home wins for Javi Gracia and Watford as he tries to reignite the passions here at this championship club. And they have convincingly beaten the side who started the day in second in Middlesbrough, 3-0. 2 goals in the first half, first from the captain Imran Louza and then from Luka Kierangor. And then in the second half, a scintillating hit from Mamadou Doumbia with his left foot from the edge of the area, his first of the season. Settled matters completely. Middlesbrough lost their way after what had been a relatively encouraging start, but once Watford hit the front, there was only going to be one winner. Watford into the top 10. Middlesbrough dropped to third at full time at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 3, Middlesbrough 0.